Hey everybody, welcome to Stamping with Melva. I'm Melva Peters and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in British Columbia, Canada. And it's Saturday and I always jump on at 11 o'clock on Saturdays, 11 o'clock Pacific on Saturdays. Now I know it's the Easter weekend and I'm not sure how many people are going to join me because it's a busy weekend, but I thought I'd jump on anyway. I won't go live tomorrow at 12, which is when normally I go on Sundays. So Easter Sunday I'm going to not be on, but today I thought I'd jump on. There might be some of you out there that are in your craft room playing. All right, so today I'm going to do a card that is using some products that are a sneak peek from the upcoming 2022 to 2023 Stampin' Up! Annual Catalog that launches on May 3rd. It's hard to believe it's coming up so soon. So as demonstrators, we're able to pre-order some things from the catalog, not everything, but a really nice selection of items. And if you were a part of my team, you could also sign up, or you could also pre-order some of these products. So a great reason to consider joining my team for May 3rd, that you'd be able to take part in this pre-order and get those supplies and see the annual catalog before it launches on May 3rd. If you're interested, just reach out to me. I'd be happy to share what my team looks like and what it would mean for you to sign up and be part of the Stampin' Up! Community. All right, so let me show you the card that the products I'm going to use that are a sneak peek. I'll switch over to my desktop. So I'm using the Sending Smiles bundle. So this is one of the new bundles. It's great in that it's got, I always love these great, the big sentiments. So this one says sending, and you can cut this out. You can stamp it or you can cut it out using dies. And then tons of combinations of smaller sentiments that you could put with it. Hey, Darlene. So you could say sending, I'm going to say sending birthday wishes today, sending a note of thanks, sending smiles across the miles. You can even mix and match these different sentiments because you could mask off. So you could actually use sending and then mask off a note of, and just so sending thanks. Great way to be able to use it, and some really pretty flowers. All right, so I'm using that one. Now let's bring in my supplies. I want to hit and cut some. I'm also using, this is one of the new designer series papers, hey Jacqueline, that are in the paper called, oh, I get it wrong, Perfectly Penciled, I believe is what it's called. So it's all black and white. One side is all kind of patterns and one side is great for coloring. So I'm going to do a little bit of coloring on this one. Okay, so let's start. So I've got my piece of real red cardstock. I've cut it 4 1/4 by 11, and I'm going to score it at 5 1/2. Okay, and grab my bone folder. So that's the side I've scored on. This is the side with the raised line. So as I always say, fold into the mountain or that raised line. And grab your bone folder and give it a good crease. Okay. So that's my card base in real red. Now this piece of designer series paper I have cut out, and it's 4 inches by 5 1/4. Now I have forgotten the name of this punch. I need to grab. It's terrible. I always forget the name of this punch. It might be called the Everyday Label Punch, but I'm just grab my, nope, it's called the Label Me Lovely Punch. Hey Lorraine, nice that you joined. Okay, so this is the Label Me, did I say Label Me Lovely Punch? You know, there's some names that just don't stick. Label Me Lovely. All right, what I'm going to do is, I don't know what this technique is called. Maybe focus. I am just going to just put this rough, like I'm pushing my designer series paper right to the end, and I'm going to punch out a hole basically in my designer series paper. And now I'm going to adhere this piece on to my card base. I'll show you what I'm going to do with that piece that I've punched out. So I'm using Stampin' Seal. You could use whatever your favorite adhesive is. Right. So we will just adhere this down, trying to get it even. There we go. Okay, so now I've got this piece that punched out of here. I have got some Stampin' Blends, so I'm going to do some coloring. So first of all, I've got my, let's see, that's the Real Red. I grabbed Real Red. This is the new, this is Parakeet Party. Thought it would be right, nice bright color for some of the leaves. There's not a lot that I'm going to be using. And then I also grabbed the Sweet Sorbet. Those two are two of the new in colors. So let's start by coloring some. Now these flowers aren't that big, so I'm really just coloring with my blends in the light. This is the Real Red. So I'm just going to color, and I'm only coloring this piece that I cut out. I just kind of makes it the focal point for my card. You could color more of this if you wanted to. More of this designer series paper is really geared, one side of it, to be coloring with either your markers or your blends or your watercolor pencils. You could use all sorts of things to color. You could even use your pastels. All right, so let's just focus on these, what I think are the big flowers. There we go. Now I'm going to use the dark to color the inside. Probably not going to see much of these flowers actually when I get them. Now I'm going to use this is the light of the Sweet Sorbet, and I'm going to color these. This is actually very similar to the Real Red, which is a little unfortunate. Actually, it's brighter. It's closer to, it's kind of a combination of Poppy Parade and Real Red. It's very pretty. Probably hard to see that there's much difference at all, but there is a subtle difference than the Real Red. All right, now let's this Parakeet Party. Let's see how bright this is. So this is the light. It is so bright. It's just so pretty. I always love Lucky Limeade, I think, was one of the old in colors, and geez, I've forgotten some of the names, but I really love this bright kind of yellowy green. So if you wanted to do a little bit more coloring, I'm gonna just kind of keep it as some basic coloring here, so you can kind of see what I've got going on. And I am going to pop that up using some, of course, of my dimensionals. Ugh, get those dimensional bottoms all over the place. Okay, now let's just we're going to put this into the opening like that. So you're just going to have a little focal point. Now, what I want to do is I have gone ahead and cut out. So the dies allow you to cut out the two different pieces for this sentiment. So I have cut out the larger piece, which is just the block, and then I've cut out the actual words that you can read, the sending. And I did this, I have it cut out with some of the adhesive foam sheets behind it, so that this is going to be popped up. Now, you do have to be a little careful because it will stretch. So I'm going to put it down on my silicone mat so that it doesn't stick. And I'm going to poke out all the bits. Sometimes they come out, if you're gentle and do it carefully, sometimes these will come out as you're pulling it off of them, but mine didn't. So I'm just going to poke them out. Little pieces stuck on me. Want them stuck to the mat. There we go. Okay, the G. So as I said, these will stretch, but you can actually put it back into the shape you want it. This is just sticking to me today. And one more big piece. Okay, there it is, stuck to my nail. Okay. All right. Now let's bring my mat back in. So this piece is the piece that it's going to go on. So you can kind of gently just put it down and reshape it so that it's not stretched. And use your take your pick tool to kind of manipulate it back into shape. Like that. And I need the little eye. I have to go looking for the little eye. There is a dot for the eye. So make sure you don't lose that. If you do, you could always put a rhinestone. Sometimes those little tiny dots. There we go. There's the sending. Now, there, I think I have the little dot here. I do. Nope, I don't. Okay, well, we're going to have to find that and put a, I think I'll have to use a rhinestone because my little dot has gone missing. So that's okay. That's a perfect use of a rhinestone. All right, let's get that out of the way. So we're going to put this across. I decided to use the red because I thought the red actually showed, it's quite a busy pattern. And so then this piece is, I've cut this out. There are two little label dies here. One is longer for some of the sentiments and one is shorter. And so I'm going to use the birthday wishes and I'm going to stamp it in real red. And because it's photopolymer, it makes it really easy to stamp and get it pretty straight. Because if that was real rubber, you might not be quite so successful, and you might want to pull out your Stamparatus. Okay, so I'm kind of wishing I had a little bit more red. I should have probably cut and punched another one of these shapes and cut it so that it was bigger. And if you're going to make this card, you might want to punch out another one of this label punch in real red, cut it in half, and then put it in behind so that you've got a little bit. I'm finding I've got not quite enough. My sending is also almost getting lost in the background. Now I'm going to use some of my liquid glue, and I only want to put the glue part way along. I don't want it all the way because my sending only is going on it's only adhering over that label piece, so I don't want it to be stuck down at a different height. Okay. And now I'm going to use some of the mini dimensionals. Sorry, I had to mute there. I got a tickle. All right. Use some mini dimensionals and put those on here. I always use my take your pick tool to get the mini dimensionals off. I think I've said this before. I find it hard with my fingers to get them off. So your take your pick tool is a great tool. All right, let's not get that upside down. So we will put that like that. There we go. Now I could put a dimensional, and I think I will. Let's take a dimensional and put underneath the S so that this piece doesn't stick up. It's adhered down too. There we go. All right, so that's got that. Okay, now what else should I put on my card? I grabbed these are the red rhinestones. So I'm going to use one of these for my, there we go, for the dot on the eye. And what else did I grab? I grabbed some of this is the Baker's Twine Essentials pack. So let's tie, maybe I'm going to double this, make it a little bit chunkier. Cut that in half. There we go. So I've doubled up it, and I'm going to tie a little bow, hopefully get my, don't do what I do. I'm always kind of chintzy on the amount of twine or ribbon I get when I go to do this. So I think I've got enough here. Oof. Make it hard for me today. There we go. Maybe not. See if I can grab these ends. There we go. I think I got it. Yes, I did. Okay, good. Phew. Like I said, I sometimes get a little chintzy with the amount I think I can tie a bow. Okay. Fussing here. Not that one, that one. I want just a little bow. So now I've got that, and I can tie that. I'm going to get my ends to be the same. There we go. Okay, now you can use a glue dot. And I think I will put that right, kind of like that right there. Going the same way. This one's twisted. I'll have to fuss with that. Oh, there's go. Okay, I'm going to just trim these ends so they're not quite so long. And then the last thing I think I want to do is add some more of the rhinestones just to make it a little bit brighter. So let's maybe put some ones in the center of these flowers. Just kind of to brighten it up. There, and I guess one more there. All right, so got some sparkle on it, and now I want to stamp the inside. So what shall I stamp on the inside? All right, let's stamp one of these little flowers on the inside. I only have real red ink with me, so we'll just keep it pretty simple on the inside. And we'll just stamp one of these. I think it's a carnation. Just put that in the... And then there is a center for this. Thanks, Marilyn. There is a little tiny center. I think it's this one. So let's stamp the center in Tuxedo Black Memento just to give it some. Ooh, that might be too big. That's not the center. What I love is this one here. It's like a cone flower or an echinacea. I think it's this one, not that bigger one. There we go. There. Okay. Let's try that again. As I was stamping my center, I got a splodge. I wasn't being careful. All right, so let's stamp the center. And let's try and not get ink. This happens if you're not stamping straight up and down. You just want to stamp straight up and down and not move your block, which is what happened. But there we go. I've got the black. You might not be able to see that, but it's got a black center in it. Some liquid glue on the back. And There we go. I have to think about a sentiment if I want to put a sentiment on the inside. All right, there we go. Pretty card. This paper, this perfectly penciled paper is absolutely stunning, and you are going to want to take a look at it. There are all different patterns. Both sides are really pretty, and I can't wait to use them. All right, everybody. If you're not a demonstrator, make sure you check this out when it comes out. If you do live in Canada and you don't have a demonstrator, would like a catalog, let me know. If you're interested in more information about joining the Stampin' Up! Family so that you can actually get this pre-order in advance and get a hold of the catalog, reach out. I'd be happy to tell you why I love being a demonstrator and why I love being part of this amazing community. You don't have to do it as a business. You can be a hobby demonstrator and be part of the community. All right, everybody, thanks for joining me. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. You can find me online at stampingwithmelva.com. Thanks, everybody. Bye. Happy stamping.